Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the 7 Hz Timeless, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. Alright, so the 7 Hz Timeless was sent over by Linsoul for a review. Do greatly appreciate it. Linsoul, you rock. Check out the links down below for how you can connect with Linsoul and purchase yourself a 7 Hz Timeless. It comes in a pretty standard box, nothing too exciting. And on the back you get some specs that tell you that it has a 14.2 millimeter planar driver and that it is 14.8 ohms and 104 decibels of sensitivity and has a frequency response of 5 Hz to 40 kilohertz. Okay, cool, awesome. Also it connects via MMCX. You can get it between either in 3.5 or 4.4, and you basically get not much when it comes to accessories. You're going to get some tips, which you get the smoky gray and red. You get some blue and small, medium and large, which is yellow, white, and red. You get some black ones in small, medium, and large, and these are all silicone, by the way. And you get white, which also is yellow, red, and white. And you also get a spare replacement filters for the nozzle. You also get this fantastic carrying case, which is made of aluminum. Has a little bit of branding here on the front. And I wouldn't recommend putting this in your pocket, as it would be super uncomfortable. And also it probably won't stay secure in a bag very well, so you're going to want to make sure that it is really well secure, because it may pop open. And then you're going to get your IEMs. And this is the 3.5 version. And it has a very nice casing on the 3.5 and very nice cable. I really do enjoy this cable. It does have one little problem of twisting up here near the split. And then the ear hooks and everything about it are just very well controlled. And I really don't mind, if I can get them untangled here, the build of the 7 Hz. Now it does have that MMCX connection, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it works. And then you have a nice aluminum build with a decent nozzle. And it is kind of large as far as the shape. I find that it fits okay now that I've changed tips. This is going to be one of those kind of subjective things. People may or may not be able to wear these based on the fit. I found that with the stock tips, because that nozzle is just a little short and the tips had to be inserted pretty far, that the shell itself with the circular size was putting pressure right here on the ear, and because it was just pushed in a little bit too far and the angle just didn't quite work for me. I tried all the stock tips. The stock tips had the same problem with fit, but I did enjoy the tips the most were the smoky gray with red stem. I really enjoyed the sound of them. The comfort just wasn't quite there. So I changed to CTM silicone tips, and these tips I truly enjoy and haven't had any problems with fit. And believe it or not, when it goes in my ears, it holds it out just far enough so it's not pressing up against that little spot on my ear, which was making it for being uncomfortable before. Sonically with the tips, now this made a big difference actually. The stock tips, except for the smoky gray red stem tip, the other tips all had one problem, and that was they made it very V-shaped sounding. And a couple of them, the black ones and I believe it was the blue ones, were extremely bassy. And then the clear ones were the opposite. The bass was light and the treble was really extended and forward and elevated and just kind of became a little sharp. And so I really didn't like any of the stock tips. I could get the colors wrong, I do apologize. But either way, the only stock tip I liked, smoky gray with red stems, but the fit was weird. So the CTM silicone tips entered and the fit changed, and sonically it became more balanced and cohesive. So going forward, from this point forward, all sonic impressions are with the CTM tip. How do they sound? How do they sound? Spectacular. These things are crazy good. The bass is well extended, is slightly mid-bass focused, and has very good details and clarity within the bass. All the details that you need are there, and they're very well resolved, and it is well controlled. It does have a little bit of authority, and it's borderline dominant, but it never takes full control of the mix. And so I think with the proper tip, a bass head may be happy with these, even though it doesn't quite have the sub bass power and elevation that some bass heads may be looking for. But if you're looking for more details, clarity, and just overall tone of the bass with control and good authority, then the 7 Hertz Timeless may be for you. Mids. Mids have a very natural approach to things. They have a very organic sound to them. They are very pleasing. They have a balance to them, and everything just sounds accurate. They have very good separation of instruments and vocalists, and I just love the vocals and the instruments of the mids of the 7 Hertz Timeless. These things are just special when it comes to the mids, and everything just sounds proper. And then you move into the treble. Treble is slightly elevated, and there's good amount of separation and of instruments, and everything is just detailed and clear, and there is just an approach that complements the mids and the bass. Nothing is out of place. It's not too elevated, but it's not, laid back. It has just enough energy and sparkle to be enjoyable, and I really enjoy the whole presentation of the 7 Hertz Timeless. Everything is just where it should be and how it should sound, in my opinion. Soundstage wise is the same. It has a natural approach to the soundstage, and it is a good interpretation of what I believe is the size of the venue in a recording. So if a venue is very intimate and cozy sounding, the 7 Hertz Timeless does that in a soundstage. If it's going to be a wide open spaces, the 7 Hertz Timeless reveals that and it shows it. And I really like how it kind of interprets the way that the venue should sound according to my imagination. And then it does depth and layering very well. Everything about it you can dissect on the stage. You can place things very well. They're behind each other, they're beside each other, and it just sounds proper. The way that it tracks things across the stage is very good. Everything just moves and flows properly. And I really do enjoy the 7 Hertz Timeless. It's a very enjoyable sound signature. Two little things that do stand out to me, and that is that the tone and timbre is not 100% natural. It's close to natural and it's close to being correct, but it's just missing a little bit, especially in timbre. It's just got a little bit of metallicism to it. But I'm nitpicking here. It never gets annoying. It never gets to the point where I can't listen to them. But it's just a little bit of, I wish it was just slightly better. And then the other aspect that kind of is nitpicking here is in the imaging and in the details. They're not 100% pinpoint accurate. They're a little bit more of, it's in this area, it's over here, type of thing. And it's better than most, but it's not quite as good as some others. And it is, when you're dissecting the stage, you can tell depth and layer, you can tell kind of the area it is, but it doesn't pinpoint it. So like if you're thinking that it should be in seat number 3, it's probably going to sound more like it's either seat number 2, seat number 3, or seat number 4. That type of deal. I really do enjoy the 7 Hertz Timeless, and this is by far the best sounding planar IEM I've ever heard. Plain and simple. I've only heard a few of them, but this is by far the best sounding planar IEM I've heard. How's it compared to a couple IEMs in its price point? Now, these IEMs are not planar, so keep that in mind. The C-Audio UM. The C-Audio UM has better tonality and better tone and timbre than the 7 Hertz Timeless, but it is not as well detailed or as resolving as the 7 Hertz Timeless. It does have a little bit more airy approach to things. Things sound a little bit more open and naturally correct in that regard, but it is not as detailed and it's not as resolving. Also, it doesn't do as good of a job on the soundstage. the Moondrop Blessing 2. The Moondrop Blessing 2, on the other hand, is a more detailed, better resolving earphone, and it also has a brighter signature to it. Also, it doesn't quite have the note weight and density that the 7 Hertz does, nor does it have it of the IEM. It's a little bit more light and a little bit more airy approach to things on the Blessing 2. And the Blessing 2 does a better job in the Soundstage as well with presentation, and is more accurate and precise in its placement. How does the 7 Hertz Timeless work with various dongles and DAPs that I used? I used it with the NextDrive Spectra X. Mostly I did try it with the X Duo Link and also the Venture Electronics Odyssey HD. And I enjoyed it on all of them, but my favorite pairing was the Spectra X. Had a little bit more power to it. It was easier to drive with the Spectra X, and the Spectra X just revealed all the details and the resolution and the tone and timbre that just made me enjoy the 7 Hertz Timeless off of my phone. I truly enjoyed it off of my phone. I also did use it with the IFI Go Blue, and I really did enjoy it as far as a portable Bluetooth device. It wasn't as detailed as the Spectra X, but it was nice to be able to linger away from my cables a little bit, so to speak. DAP wise, sounds good on the Heidi's AP80 off of the Balance. It also sounds good with the Sony NWA105 and the Sony NWWM1A. I really did enjoy it on all the DAPs. Everything did play it very well, and it sounded very good. I had no problems powering the 7 Hertz Timeless, even though it is a planar. And I highly recommend the 7 Hertz Timeless. If you were to take the Timeless, the IEM, and the Blessing 2 and put them in a 100-meter dash, and you were to photo finish it at the end, it would be so close to call, I probably wouldn't be able to pick the winner. So for me, if I were to rank those three, the IEM is for tone and tonal balance and tone and timbre. The Blessing 2 is for details and for resolution and soundstage and just preciseness and accuracy. And then the 7 Hertz Timeless is the one directly in the middle that does all of the good things that the other two do. It is special. I really like the 7 Hertz Timeless, and I highly recommend it. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on screen, subscription links, notification bells, thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't enjoy the video, and also check out the links down below for a link to where you can purchase the 7 Hertz Timeless from Linsoul. There's also gear rankings and terms and definitions and all kinds of other things. So check out the links down below. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Don't forget to enjoy the music, and honesty is the best policy.